Hi everyone, I'm new to this and would appreciate any feedback you have. Thank you to all my new supporters. Now to the story. Our story starts in a world where the god of death has arrived, heralding the apocalypse. The warriors have all perished in battle, everyone is dead. The bodies of the defeated lie in ruin, marking the final line of defense. As a lone warrior, exhausted from battle, the warrior realizes that the city he's defending is about to fall. Looking visibly defeated and frustrated, he questions why the monsters from the game had to appear into reality. He reflects on his team and how they battled together in hopes of victory. He struggles to get up, declaring that their team was the last of the warriors. A demon of death, wielding a powerful weapon, gazes down at him. He struggles to stand and says that the world is already a hell, with no hope left for humanity. With renewed confidence, he begins to channel a spell. Using the last of his strength, he attacks, fully aware that he's going to die but determined to go out like a star. As he and the demon get ready to fight, he shouts that he will risk everything in this final attack. He curses silently, unable to accept this fate. He won't accept it. Humans will never accept this. With his last breath, he declares, "I am Sumu." He screams that he won't accept this. Suddenly, he looks around and realizes he's in a classroom, with the students staring at him as if he's crazy. The teacher shouts, "Sumu, why are you shouting? With your grades and the chance to take the college entrance exam, what's the problem? Sit down now, you're causing a disturbance." Su, looking confused, asks if he's not dead. A voice on the speaker says, "There are 5 minutes left until the college entrance exam starts. Make sure your exam papers are in order and fill out your name and exam number." Su suddenly realizes he's gone back 10 years, to when the Apocalypse game first came out. He reaches into his pocket and finds the ring. He realizes that his Apocalypse ring has come back with him. The ring is used to enter the Apocalypse game. Could it be that he can start the game early? He's still puzzled about why he was reborn. The teacher yells at him, saying he's worthless and has no support. He shouts, pointing at the door, "Sumu, are you deaf or dumb? I'll kick you out right now." He laughs and says, "Everything you say is nonsense. Do you even deserve respect? I remember you, in this apocalyptic world. You were simply a deserter who betrayed the students." The teacher responds, "What are you talking about?" Su walks away, thinking he has no time to waste and that the teacher will soon grasp the purpose of the game. He tells the teacher, "I'm going to play the Apocalypse game." The teacher calls him back, exclaiming, "What nonsense are you spouting? Trash is trash. I think you're just crazy from playing too many games." His classmates watch him, one impressed by how cool he is for confronting the head teacher. Meanwhile, a girl says he's cool for leaving and plans to play the game too, hoping to catch the campus hottie. He recalls that in 2046, the full dive game Apocalypse appeared suddenly and quickly became a global sensation. Within a few years, it drew in everyone, from leaders to regular people, and influenced every industry. Game currency could be traded for real money, and just one weapon could purchase luxury cars and mansions. Even countries conducted transactions through the Apocalypse game. Some people became wealthy overnight through the Apocalypse game, gaining fortunes almost instantly, while others lost everything and spiraled into ruin. Nothing could stop the unstoppable surge of the Apocalypse game. Su wonders who could have predicted what would happen next. He remembers how, on that day, the Apocalypse game became real. The game's horrors devastated humanity, led to widespread war, destroyed civilizations, and caused countless deaths. Confronted with the apocalyptic disaster, humanity came together to fight for survival. Even though human power seemed small compared to the gods and demons from the game, humanity never lost hope, until the sun, moon, and stars disappeared from view. With a heavy sigh, he wonders if this sense of being from a different era is just a dream or an illusion. Whether he was the last one to fall in battle or not, he's been given another chance at life. He still chooses to believe that the light of humanity will always shine. He returns home, announces he's back, and notices a note on the table. The note says, "Son, we're leaving with the expedition team. Take care of yourself. We sent money for food and will bring you a gift when we return." He smiles, feeling that the heavens have given him a second chance. He vows to his parents that he will keep going no matter what. The sun is shining brightly as it reaches 11 a.m., casting a warm glow over everything. Su lies in bed, contemplating the apocalypse ring he possesses. He puts on the ring and says, "The game hasn't launched yet. If I can log in an hour before everyone else, I might be able to change the course of fate." He prays for the ring to function properly and then activates it. The ring responds by emitting a brilliant blue light, signaling that it's working. Su laughs, amazed that it really worked. He can hardly believe it's happening. He shouts his name is Sumu and gets ready for his second adventure in the game, eagerly looking forward to it. An old man from the system says, "Welcome to Apocalypse. You're in the Xia Kingdom region on the Tianqing Walong server. Warriors of humanity, the future depends on you." Su realizes it's a novice guide and feels happy that he managed to log into the game early. The guide instructs him to choose his profession as 5 orbs appear before him. He says he'll choose sorcerer, adding, "It has to be sorcerer, I'll switch to a versatile healer later. I'm not dealing with that expensive mage profession from my last life again." The guide says he can't choose that profession. Su, looking puzzled, wonders why since he hasn't picked anything yet in this life. The guide tells him to check his stats first. When the stats appear, they show he's at level 1, but he realizes he's still listed as a mage. He panics, shouting, "What the heck, are you kidding me? It's fine that I'm reborn with my old account, but why reset my level and attributes?" Su yells, "Is this your fault? Training a mage costs a fortune." The guide hurries off, saying, "Just start your adventure now." Su grumbles, "It ran off. Since I'm reborn, can't I get something useful, like a dragon slaying sword?" He pauses, remembering that he still has his equipment and supplies. He falls to the ground, cursing his rebirth and the money-draining mage profession. He complains, "Why couldn't I inherit the gold and equipment from my old account instead?" But then he notices something in his inventory. Su clicks on the item and sees that it's a god of death's hand bone. The system message reads, "When you gaze into the abyss gazes back at you." Confused, he wonders, "What is this thing?" He glares at the information in frustration, complaining that it lacks any real attributes and is nothing more than a worthless product. Where, he demands, are the promised benefits of being reborn? As his body is pulled into the game, the system announces, "Congratulations, Sumu, on becoming the first player in the Apocalypse world. You have been awarded the exclusive title of the fastest man and received a newbie mage set gift pack." Taking note of the system's message, he steps into the newbie village. With a frown, he shouted, "The fastest man, are you serious? There's no way he's using a title like that." His tone shifts as he examines the title's stats, and with stars in his eyes, he exclaims, "Unique and exclusive. Wow, these attribute bonuses are incredible." He spots a group of wild pigs approaching and greets them with a smile, saying, "I've missed you guys so much." He unleashes a small fireball, thinking to himself, "This is a piece of cake." The fireball hits the wild pig but only does a small amount of damage. The pigs look confused. He says, "Wow, only 12 damage. Is level 1 fireball really this weak? I'm not used to this anymore." He says, "Hey, don't be hasty. I could have taken all of you out with one quick spell before. Believe it or not." Suddenly, a loud noise comes from far away, echoing through the area. We see that the girl's dress is torn and damaged. As we realize it was her who made the noise, she runs away from a giant boar king, shouting for help. The system announces a new quest. Hero saves Beauty. Defeat the wild boar and save Zhua to earn 20 gold coins and 500 experience points. Su is thrilled to find his first hidden quest. He smiles and says that despite the low chance, he triggered the quest. Could he be incredibly lucky this time? It was worth dealing with those pesky pigs after all. The girl calls out, "You finally came, warrior." Su smiles, opens his arms, saying, "Come here, baby." But suddenly, he slaps her on the cheek, saying, "Take this." The girl and the monsters look at each other in confusion, not understanding what just happened. She asks him what he was doing, trying to explain that she was but Su cuts her off, saying, "You were just picking mushrooms when you ran into the wild boar king and got chased, right?" Rubbing her face, she asks, "How did you know that?" Su reveals that he knows she once took her grandpa's treasure for candy and put frogs in old Wang's water tank. He also says he's aware she's trying to seduce him and then tells her that she doesn't know how to accept defeat. She smiles and says, "You know too much." Her stats appear as she transforms into her demon form. She laughs and says, "You dare to invade my mind." Su responds, This is all thanks to the blood and tears of warriors from my past life. Ichue launches an attack, shouting, "Die." Su dodges the attack and runs away, telling the boar king, "Play with her first." She leaps at the king boar, shouting, "Get lost." The king boar roars in fury, enraged by her words. They charge at each other with incredible speed. In a swift motion, she cuts through the beast effortlessly, taking it down with ease. She calls out to Su, saying, "It's your turn now." Su looks back in shock, staring at her in disbelief. He turns around saying that her dress is falling off her chest. She looks down in a hurry. He uses the skill Fireball, and the stats reveal that it deals 100% more damage to a single target and has a 10% chance of triggering Meteor Fall. She is struck by the Fireball, which deals 36 damage to her. She screams at him in anger, saying he deceived her and deserves to die. Su acts innocent and runs away again. With a cheeky smile, he turns around and fires another Fireball, dealing 30 damage. She chases Su again and again as he keeps firing fireballs at her. Su taunts her to hurry up and catch him, while she follows in angry pursuit. Su remembers that Zihua's magic comes from the demonic energy in the forest. He knows she can't move more than 10 meters outside the forest without becoming immobilized. He stops and turns around, realizing he has achieved his goal. He taunts her again, challenging her to come at him. She screams that she will rip him apart, but Su simply folds his arms and smirks, teasing her that he's so scared. She closes in, stopping just inches from his face as he continues to smile. Frozen in place, she asks what did he do. Su looks at her and tells her to figure it out herself. With a confident grin, he then activates another skill, announcing that he's not going to hold back any longer. She watches in fear as the fireballs come hurtling toward her. The attack lands, causing a huge explosion that fills the area with flames and debris. She collapses, saying she's had enough. System windows pop up. Congrats, player Su. You defeated the demonized Zhua and earned 500 gold coins and 1500 experience points. Congrats, player Su. You completed the Hero Saves Beauty quest and earned 200 gold coins and 500 experience points. Su reads the message. Congrats, player Su. You completed the demonized Zhua quest, earning 1000 gold coins and 10,000 experience points. You've also leveled up to level 2, he laughs, saying, "This is perfect. I hit the 10% meteor fall chance just right." He leans down to her and says, "Hidden quests are amazing. One quest leveled me up directly. Now, let's see what reward Zhua dropped." Just then, his inventory window pops up, displaying his only item. He pulls it out and says that his god Death Hand Bone leveled up with him. The stats show a level change and now an inactive attribute. Su wondered, what's this Death's Hand thing? I've never heard of it before, and it needs to be activated. It sounds pretty cool though. The system says, find essence of the divine tree, mummy bandages 3000, and dried blood 3000, then consume them to activate this attribute. Looking confused, he replies, seriously? It needs that many materials. He decides to forget about it for now and focus on leveling up. He figures he can gather the materials from monsters in the beginner's village and just keep grinding. She says she was corrupted by the evil miasma and thanks him for saving her. Please accept my gift. A window then pops up. Received Heavenly Fire Staff unidentified and received Xiaohua's hairpin. Su thinks with a chuckle, I was actually hoping you'd get corrupted. Otherwise, how else would I have unlocked this hidden quest? He smiles, noting, this Heavenly Fire Staff is actually a purple item. Hidden quests are fantastic. I'll identify its attributes at the beginner's village later. It should be great. She hugs his arm and says, Warrior, can you escort me to the village? My grandpa will be grateful. A system window pops up. Accept quest, Flower Escort. Task, take Xiaohua to Qingyu Village and meet the village chief. Reward, 10 gold, 100 XP. Su accepts the mission and, with a joyful expression, thinks this soft, realistic touch is wonderful. It reminds me of the apocalypse. He carries her on his back as the system announces that he is leaving Green Bay Forest and heading to the village. He enters the village, where the streets are bustling with people going about their activities. She waves happily and calls out to her grandfather, I'm back. He waves back, revealing himself as the village chief. He looks visibly relieved and worried about her. They are both delighted to see each other, and she says, "This warrior saved me." The system then informs him, "Task complete. Reward, 10 gold, 100 XP. The grandfather goes to thank him while trying to get seeds. Su tells him to wait and asks if he can receive a quest. He remembers from his past life that the old man gets busy with seeds and won't stop talking. He needs to get what he came for and leave quickly. He doesn't have time for a lengthy chat. The old man says, "Warrior, we need your help. Xiaohua still has some miasma in her. We need demonized zombie blood to fully cleanse her." Su sighs and agrees, "Alright, I'll take the quest. I know where to find those." He waves goodbye as he leaves. The system notifies him, "Quest accepted. Zombie blood. Go to Green Sea Forest, kill 30 demonized zombies, and bring the dried blood back to the old village chief. Reward, 100 gold, 500 XP, beginner green staff 1. He thinks that, since he needs to fight monsters, he should be well prepared as a mage, so he heads off to find the pharmacist. He arrives feeling a bit excited about being here. A beautiful lady greets him with, "Hey, little brother, you're here." Su thinks, the pharmacist still as big. I mean, still as nice. This familiar feeling feels good. As she watches him order 28 small blue potions, he thinks each potion costs 50 gold, about 50 bucks in the real world. With only 1500 gold, no wonder they say mages are for the rich. She approaches Su and asks why he's buying potions instead of asking for her. Blushing, she adds that if he makes her happy, she might give him a discount. He becomes very shy and says he doesn't need anything else. She curses at him for not taking the bait, saying he doesn't appreciate her. He looks back, saying he doesn't want to deal with the dumb iron head. The blacksmith stops him and demands to know who he's talking about. Su, looking scared, he must have been misheard and only praised the blacksmith's strength and might. Su then asks for an identification scroll, thanks the blacksmith, and wishes him and the pharmacist a long and happy life together. The blacksmith replies, "You're a smart kid." Su finds a quiet spot and thinks that identifying purple items in this game is more thrilling than gambling in real life. He knows that soon merchants will specialize in selling unidentified items and the wealthy will start competing. He needs to make the most of his time now. He hopes that betting on the blacksmith's 10 years of single life will bring him luck with the identification. He doesn't have much gold left. The system then announces, identification successful. His new Heavenly Fire Staff Purple has plus 40 magic attack, plus 25 mana, magic burst 3% crit rate boost, and focus 30% mana or fun chance. He says, "Wow, this is amazing," and feels he's struck gold. He leaves the village, thinking it's the perfect time to farm zombies. With his new gear and staff, he should level up quickly. In the zombie area, a meteor shower lands on a group of zombies, defeating them all. He thinks the 10% chance for the skill to trigger seems high and wonders if the death bone hand made him lucky. Laughing, he jokes that it might just be his good looks. The system notifies him that he's collected 600 dried blood. He thinks one material for upgrading the hand bone is done. It's almost 12 p.m. launch time. Soon, hundreds will be fighting for zombies. He laughs. At 12 p.m., a surge of players are seen activating their rings and streaming into the game world. A crowd gathers, with one person saying, "This game is so realistic." Another shouts, "Go touch the pharmacist, she has at least any cup." Meanwhile, someone curses, saying he touched them, but they were killed by the blacksmith, and wonders if NPCs can kill players. Another player complains about the old village chief munching on sunflower seeds and chatting instead of giving quests. Su thinks newbies should enjoy their time in the starter village. Su sits down and reads the world chat. One player says, "Damn, where are the zombies? I need them for my quest." Someone else complains, "This game is trash. Might as well go back to the village and touch the pharmacist." Su sets up his shop, noting that monsters respawn every half hour. He feels lucky with over 100 potions and has collected 113 white items, 21 green items, and 6 blue items. He smiles, thinking, this hourly rate of 30,000 beats working any day. His high level also boosts his mood. He decides to hide his level and equipment info while setting up his stall to avoid drawing attention. He opens his shop, named Fair and Honest. Su calls out to the crowd, "Check out my shop. My items are great, but the prices are high, and the quality is top-notch." One player scoffs, "Look at that idiot setting up a stall instead of fighting monsters. The game's just launched, what can he sell?" Sue realizes that, with their attributes, even in a group they might struggle to defeat a zombie and thinks they are dreaming. He suddenly spots someone. She questions why the items are so overpriced when they're not great. Sue, however, just gazes at her legs. He looks up and sees her name is Ingzu Wanner. Meanwhile, players in the back comment on how nice her long legs look. Sue sees the idea and thinks, is that really her? It can't be. In the future, she will be a top magician in the Summer Kingdom and the leading commander of a major safe zone after the apocalypse. She's linked to the Tingshu Shaoju Guild and backed by a mysterious Huaxia company. At the start of the apocalypse game, players' appearances are exactly like in real life, so Wanner must look just as extraordinary in reality. He didn't expect to meet this goddess here. The newbie queen is also quite cute. Could this be what they mean by the fun of nurturing? With such an arrogant sign, she was curious to see what you're selling. The server has just launched, and he already has so much equipment and zombie blood for sale. The zombie zone is packed with people fighting for monsters. Where did he get all these drops? "Miss, what would you like to buy?" she asks for everything and inquires about the cost. Sue replies, "Zombie blood materials are 5 gold each, white equipment is 100 gold each, green equipment is 500 gold each, and blue equipment is 3,000 gold each. The total is 54,800 gold, but he'll give it all to her for 55,000 gold. She says, "Usually, buying in bulk comes with a discount. Why are you charging more?" He looks at her with a lustful gaze and replies, "If you think it's expensive, there is a way to get a discount." With a creepy face, he says, "Let me touch your legs, and I'll give you a 20% discount." She blushes and says, "You scoundrel, you're so shameless." He says, "Forget it if you're not interested." The offer was there, but once it's gone, it's gone. She thinks, this guy clearly wants to rip me off. Even though her guild isn't short on money, it's still frustrating. A voice screams out, "I'll pay 100,000 and take everything." A group of players arrives, with the notorious madman War God at their head. The leader's presence commands attention as his followers gather around, ready to make their move. Sue thinks about how unfortunate it is to run into him here. He recalls a memory of the madman War God. In his past life, War God was among the top 10 warriors on this server, notoriously arrogant as he robbed bosses and killed players. Several times, he destroyed my weapons and equipment, causing him to fall behind the main group in levels. The road is narrow for enemies, but in this life, he's not afraid of him anymore. She says, "Madman War God, I've already agreed on the price with the vendor. What's this about?" He replies, "Little girl, the highest bidder wins until the deal is finalized." It's standard. Sue thinks, she's attractive, but this won't do. She says, "The highest bidder, I'll pay 150,000. Madman War God counters with 200,000 and tells Sue to hurry and finalize the deal. Sue begins to think that well-prepared groups like Tingshu and Madman War God are clearly ready to spend a lot on supplies for the upcoming instance first kill. She worries that while the equipment is pricey, it will significantly boost Tingshu Shaoju's core players, helping them dominate early on. She can't let Madman War God steal this opportunity. She thinks it's just a game, but my guild needs that first kill. She acts cute and flirts with Sue, saying she agreed to his terms. He can touch her legs once, no, 10 times. Sue, shocked, replies, "This is what you wanted, so don't back out now." He tells Madman War God to leave, saying he'll make a deal with the lady. Furious, Madman War God demands to know who he is and how dare he speak to him like that. Sue simply replies, "Get lost. You're interrupting my business." Madman's team suggests handling the kid once he's outside the village. Madman shouts, "Just wait until he leaves the safe zone." He grits his teeth in anger, vowing to get back at him. We are led outside to an area where Sue and Tingshu decide to finalize the deal. The system notifies her that the items have been sent. Sue grins cheekily and says, "Next time we make a deal, remember our agreement." She screams, calling him a shameless scumbag, and says she won't deal with him again. As she walks away, Sue calls after her, saying there will be a next time, and he'll touch them even more. He thinks to himself that she's just too inexperienced. She walks away, thinking Sue is a lustful guy, but she also recalls how the deal went. She remembers Sue saying, I've never taken a loss. With 20% off, the total is 120,000. Pay up and take the goods. She then asks, do I just need to give the money? Sue moves closer, asking if she's ready to fulfill her promise. She looks uncertain and struggles to finish her sentence. Sue draws in closer, asking if she's backing out on her word. She looks away, unsure of what to say. Sue smiles at her, while she closes her eyes in embarrassment. Sue walks away, saying he'll take a loss this time, but she now owes him one. He adds that they're done here. Confused, she asks if that's really okay. Sue explains he has a grudge against madmen and never planned to sell to him, so she just got lucky. She returns to the present, thinking he's despicable but wonders how he has so many supplies so early. Who is this man? He also crossed Madman War God, who will likely seek revenge. If that happens, she should help him. Back in the village, the old man thanks Sue, saying the dried blood will cleanse Zihua's evil spirit. He mentions that many villagers were attacked by demons and there's a shortage of bandages. Sue replies that he'll handle it. The quest window pops up, received quest. Kill 30 demonized mummies and collect the bandages, rewards 200 gold coins, 1500 experience points, and 200 potential points. By the way, he's got 400 potential points from leveling up 4 times. He has not used them yet, and puts them all into magic attack. His stats appear, and he notes that his experience and gold far exceed those of the newbies, as expected. He thinks he's cheating. This is so easy, no more overthinking. Let's finish the quest and widen the gap. Demonized mummies are a bit tricky, but manageable. He turns back in alarm, exclaiming, "Wait, did I forget something important?" He remembers that he forgot to get something from the old man and realizes he can't afford to pass up such an opportunity. He lies on the ground, claiming internal injuries from saving Zia, and asks the old man to return her hairpin. With death possibly near, he remembers it's a hidden quest. Return the pin to her for 50 intimacy points or give it to the old man for a secret reward. The old man reassures, "Don't worry, warrior. The path of revelation is still long." A system window then appears. "Congratulations, Sue. You've permanently gained the village chief's blessing, plus 10% crit rate, plus 10% movement speed, auto heal 10 HP, sec, ignore 50 defense, and a slight reputation boost." Sue realizes this is the true core reward for triggering the demonized Xiaohua hidden task. The village chief's permanent buff is a powerful and valuable trump card. A group of players attempt the same thing while the old man looks confused. Sue thinks, "You fools. He's heading off to grind monsters. I need to secure the first kill." Sue enters the demon energy swamp. The system warns him that the area is tainted, preventing the use of recovery potions and causing him to lose 5 HP per second. Sue notes that most players won't last long here. He knows that the usual method involves using purification potions, which cost 200 gold each and are needed frequently. However, with the old man's buff, he can counter the HP loss effectively. Distant screams echo through the swamp, grabbing his attention and drawing him towards their source. 2 players are sprinting desperately, one shouting, "Run faster. We have to get away." While the other yells back, "They're closing in on us." The girl is tightly wrapped in bandages, her voice rising in desperation as she calls out for help. As she's dragged back, the guy abandons her and keeps running, leaving her behind in a desperate bid for safety. He reaches Sue and opens his mouth to say something, but before he can get a word out, he's abruptly cut off. He is struck with such force to the chest that he is immediately killed. He is hurled backward by the impact, and a system message pops up identifying the attacker as a level 5 demonized mummy. Sue remarks that a level 5 enemy with a ranged attack is a serious threat to novices. He now understands why the 2 players were wiped out. He realizes that the mummy's speed isn't very fast, and he plans to use this to his advantage. He hurls fireballs at them, taunting, "You're ugly and should fear these flames." He takes down one of the monsters with a fireball, while the remaining ones watch from a distance, their eyes fixed on the scene. As the mummies begin to chase him, he thinks this is perfect. He can take them all down at once and have his quest supplies delivered right to him. He taunts them, daring them to catch him. He smiles, noting the orangewood forest within the swamp. All he needs to do is lure them into it. He leads the mummies into the death swamp's withered wood forest area, feeling pleased as they take the bait. On the far side of the swamp, he shoots fireballs and taunts the mummies, daring them to come after him. The group of mummies has had enough. They roar in anger, visibly enraged by his taunts. They all leap toward him, unleashing their ranged attacks as they go to assault Su. Su finds the situation easy to handle as he skillfully dodges all their attacks, effortlessly evading their ranged assaults. He steps back, noting that these mummies are becoming a nuisance. Fortunately, this isn't his first time hunting them. He grabs the ends of their ranged attacks and says, "I've been waiting for this." He dashed around a tree, using its trunk to maneuver and pull the mummies along with him, effectively dragging them in his wake. Su leaps and dodges with increasing agility, causing the monsters to become increasingly confused and disoriented. He comes to a halt as all the monsters are tangled up in the middle, struggling to move. Su smirks and says, "This was all part of the plan from the beginning." He surveys the tangled monsters and says, "One big fireball should take care of all of you." He adds, "Only a novice would get caught from monsters after they became exhausted." The system displays Blacksmith Bounty, Warriors, Get Justice, Info. Kill 100 players who have interacted with the Potion Master's large assets. Reward, a mysterious bounty. First to complete it wins. Su notes that the Potion Master's giant assets are no joke. She can charm most men. With a smug look, he thinks he's the only man unaffected by her charm. Both in his past and present, he hasn't fallen for it. He concludes that the bounty is tailor-made for him to complete. He grins, knowing the quest will be a breeze given their current levels. His strategy is to farm mummies until he hits level 5, and then take on the newbies. He unleashes the skill Heavenly Flame Descending, and a barrage of fireballs rains down on the clustered mummies, engulfing them in a roaring sea of flames. The system notifies him that he has defeated an enchanted mummy, earning 69 experience points for gold, and a skill book titled Shattered Star. Meanwhile, the skill continues to shower fireballs from the sky. The stats for the skill book appear on his screen, revealing that he can't use it. However, he knows he can sell it for a few thousand gold. A notification appears, 1 out of 100 completed for the blacksmith's quest. Su wonders why anyone would venture into this area. Considering he was just farming mummies, he figures it's not too bad, especially if those players show up, which might make things even easier. Meanwhile, the world chat is filled with players complaining about the fireballs raining down from the sky. Madman rants about the noobs, blaming the game mechanics while dismissing them as trash. Only a pro like him can handle high difficulty raids. He shouts, "Brothers of the Mad God, follow me to the mummy area." His teammate echoes, "The Mad God of War, our mighty leader." A group of players comments that Madman sure has presence. Even their names match, clearly planning to form a guild. Another adds, "It's obvious. Look at the white glow around them from the purification potions. Those are pricey. They must be loaded." Madman tells them to watch and see how they dominate the quests. He spots a mummy and quickly orders his team to launch an attack. But suddenly, a fireball strikes the mummy, killing it instantly as Madman's group looks on. He curses, realizing a squishy mage is on the scene. He can't understand how this is happening when the Frost Girls are still farming level 3 monsters. He suspects it must be a pay-to-win player. A team member warns, "Be careful. It's a firestorm spell." They flee in panic as fire rains down on them. One of them screams, "What's going on?" We watch the group running for their lives, many of them struck by fireballs and screaming for help. One falls to the ground in defeat as another shouts, "It's a massacre," as he runs. As fireballs continue to fall, the system notifies Su that his blacksmith quest is gradually progressing. Su is surprised. He only came to farm some mobs. Why do people keep showing up here just to get wiped out? Those mad gods are really weak. He recalls that the new level 5 skill, Frost Dance, is fantastic. It's an AoE with a freezing effect, which makes it incredibly useful. Knowing the next wave of mummies won't spawn soon, he decides to rest and sort his inventory. With hundreds of gear pieces and 12 skill books dropped, he thinks, "This will make me a fortune." He suddenly decides he should send a trade message to Warner. When he gets more valuable items, it's only right to think of the good girls. He's excited and wonders if Warner is looking forward to it too. He notes it's a shame the 100 kills quest is still a few dozen short. If more clueless mad gods show up, he'll finish it easily. He He recalls that the skill book that dropped from monsters is excellent for mages. The skill book information appears, showing it increases movement speed by 30%. Su realizes it will make escaping or chasing incredibly smooth. He quickly learns the skill. The system confirms he has acquired the air shadow skill. He thinks that once he hits level 6, he'll log off to grab something to eat. The first dungeon boss kill in Apocalypse is still waiting for him. Elsewhere in the swamp, another group of players is farming mummies. Yumu announces that she has gathered enough for the quest and will be leaving the party. The guys from the group try their hardest to convince her to stay, praising her teamwork and healing. They ask her not to be so cold and to give them a smile. She thinks most men are equally disgusting. She thinks about someone claiming he is the only exception. Death Song mentions they'll be forming a guild soon and suggests she join as vice president. Deathshin adds that having someone as beautiful as her would make their guild popular on the server. She tells them to be quiet and gets ready to attack. She targets the mummy behind Death Song but ends up striking him as well. Death Song realizes the mummies are respawning but is puzzled about how she managed to hurt him since they're on the same team. She tells him that he wants to be a leader but can't even remember the monster respawn time. She realizes that Death Song is one of those people that touched Potion Master, and she despises people like that. She turns away, knowing she can't afford to waste time here. She needs to level up quickly before tracking him down. She wonders if Sumu will be on the same server as her, considering how many servers there are in Apocalypse. Deathshin tells his boss not to be angry and suggests they catch her and offer her to the leader, noting that the game's realism is too compelling. The other person agrees, saying, "Let's show her what a real man is." Death Song says, "You guys don't get it. Yumu has spunk, and I'm definitely going to win her over." His team supports his decision, acknowledging that she's more than just a pretty face. Her quick memorization of mob spawn points and times, and her sharpness, make her someone not to be underestimated. Madman posts on the world chat, "Su, if you've got the guts, come out and face me." One of his team members called out, "It's one thing to hunt monsters, but why did you have to kill us?" One onlooker watches the drama unfold and wonders who this Su person is, given that posting on the world chat costs 100 gold each time, and Madman has posted so many times. Madman thinks getting wiped out is incredibly humiliating. There must be some aspect of the swamp's evil aura that he's not understanding. When Su shows up, if he doesn't defeat him 10 times, he won't be worthy of the title Madman God of War. A voice tells Madman to go into the swamp and find Su if he has the courage. We see it's Wanner and her group. Wanner tells him, talk is cheap. He asks her if she's truly going to defend Su. Then he realizes he's wasted too much time, as her group is now far higher in levels. She responds, "So what if I protect him? Face us first before fighting Su." As she readies for battle, she recalls that Su sent her valuable gear and items. She knows she must seize every chance to get stronger, but protecting Su is crucial since he's a key trader. He ignores her and posts again, saying, "Su needs girls to fight his battles." He then screams for Su to come out. He appears and, with a laugh, teases Madman by calling him his dear grandson. He screams in anger, telling Su to cut the crap and get ready to die. He doesn't say a word but simply snaps his fingers. His status window pops up, displaying his level, gear, and passive abilities for everyone to see. Madman's team members shout, "He's level 7, purple grade weapon, and the chief's blessing, he must be cheating, we need to report him." Madman is in shock, unable to believe his level and unsure how he can possibly fight him. Su teases Madman with a smile, "Dear grandson, Grandpa's here, so, what now?" Madman trembles in fear but knows he can't back down now. He accuses Su of killing innocent players in the game and demands that Su let his team kill him as compensation. His team agrees with the demand. With a cheeky grin, he thinks that levels aren't everything and that his team easily outnumbers Su. How is he killing innocent people? You're the ones who touched the alchemist's assets and became quest targets. That's not his fault. The ladies gossip, calling him disgusting for harassing her and praising Su for doing a public service. Embarrassed, Madman screams that he's talking rubbish and realizes Su has made a fool of him in front of the ladies. He must get revenge. Madman screams that he's heard enough and challenges Su to fight if he has the guts. Su teases him again, saying his grandson needs to be taught some manners. Wanner offers to support him, saying it's a return favor for the items he sold her. He replies that he'll save the favor for later. He realizes she's not as cold as he thought and tells her to take her people and step back. He activates battle mode, thinking they believe numbers will win. But with them at level 2 and him at level 7, it won't work. She agrees and steps back, wondering if he's just arrogant or actually strong. She's eager to find out. He knows these guys are just wasting his time as the system confirms his switch to battle mode. The battle begins. Su unleashes multiple fireballs, and Madman quickly orders his team to raise their shields. They block the attack, and Madman shouts for the mages and archers to stop messing around and strike back immediately. All the ranged classes unleash their skills. Su dodges them effortlessly with his Fast Man title and thinks Madman is a fool for ordering all his ranged attackers to strike at once. This puts them all in cooldown, making it an easy win for him. He sprints behind a large rock, thinking that using his ice skill will be perfect against multiple enemies. Meanwhile, Madman and his team scramble to locate him. In a private chat, someone asks if anyone has more info on Su's title. One person replies that it's called Fastest Man. Su smiles, excited to try out his new skill. He unleashes his skill at Madman's team, who watch in shock as the attack hits them, freezing them solid. Madman screams in pain, "What the hell is this?" While another teammate cries out, "It's freezing my whole body." Madman screams at his team to block the attack with their shields. One teammate replies that the shield is on cooldown, while another says he can't keep up with the healing. In anger, Madman shouts at the teammate for using the shield too late, now that everyone is already defeated. The teammate responds that he acted out of instinct. Su thinks they're fools for using their shields now, as a huge fireball is about to hit them. He starts the countdown, 3, 2, 1. Su yells, "Look up, my favorite grandson." Madman and his team look up in terror at the massive fireball. Sweat drips down Madman's face as he realizes he's screwed up. The Madman declares, "It's over." Everyone's shield skill is on cooldown. They're finished. His teammate warns, "Focus on your own survival. He's not going to last much longer." Madman, frustrated, curses at Su and demands, "What kind of damage is this? It must be a bug or something." Su mocks him, "Why are you running?" Scared, Madman in fear says, "Just back off. Don't get any closer, or you will regret it." Madman thinks, "Damn it, our healer is down and we're losing. How can 30 of us be beaten by just one guy?" He calls out to Su, saying, "You bastard, I'm coming for you." He unleashes his air slash. Su knows it has a 40-second cooldown, and after using it, he'll be limited to normal attacks for the same amount of time. Madman shouts, "Die," as he attacks again. Su thinks to himself that he just needs to maintain his distance. Su appears behind him and teases, "Why are you so slow, grandson?" Madman swings again, screaming that he will kill Su. Su mocks him, asking, "How can you be called a god of war with such pathetic skills?" Madman swears, "Damn it, how can Su be so fast when he's a mage?" Su taunts, "Catch me if you can," as he shoots more fireballs. Su tells him to stop. Madman retorts, "You're a fool if you think I'm done. My skills are off cooldown now. A mage can't run forever. Do you want to beg now, Su? The only thing you'll get from me is a gale slash." Su just wanted to warn him about his health bar as he fires a mini fireball. Madman, shocked, swears, "Damn it." The fireball hits him, dropping his health to 0. He's lifeless, clearly embarrassed. With a cheeky grin, he apologizes to Madman, "Oops, my hand slipped. I just wanted to keep playing a bit longer." In his last breath, he tells Su, "Just wait, Su, I'll never be done with you." The crowd can't believe what just happened. One person shouts, "He's amazing for taking down an entire group by himself." Another chimes in, "He's incredible. I've got to follow him. He's a mage like me." She wonders how he became so strong. The global system notification announces that Su has completed the blacksmith's bounty quest. Someone from the group asks, "How did he manage that?" Players from the server are asking, "Who is this Su? He's a monster for taking down so many enemies so quickly." Another player grumbles, "I was only halfway through that quest. I need to meet this Su in the future." Another player, who is streaming, complains, "I was just 20 kills away. Can someone send me some gifts to cheer me up? I'm shocked that someone beat me, especially since I'm an esports player and thought my Z team was the strongest." Yu is surprised that someone beat her, as she thought she would win. She sees the name Wood God and wonders if it could be him. Sue suddenly sneezes and wonders who might be talking about him. Sue looks at her with a mischievous glint in his eyes and asks, "So, you're looking to make another trade?" She knows that Sue will likely propose some unusual conditions again. Sue tells her, "Here's the breakdown. 1512 bandages, 151 white items, 51 green items, 19 blue items, and 10 white skill books. Prices are 10 gold for bandages, 50 gold for white items, 500 gold for green items, 3,000 gold for blue items, and 1,500 gold for skill books." She can't understand how he collected so much. Sue, with a perverted grin, offers, "If you want, I can give you a discount." She knew he'd pull something like this. Blushing, she tells him, "There's no need for a discount." He sighs and says, "Too bad. If you'd let me touch your legs, you would have gotten a surprise for free." Her face lights up at the mention of the word surprise. He shows her a skill book, priced at a friendly 10,000 gold. She sees it's a green skill book and wonders how he can be so lucky. Green skill books are impossible to buy, even if you have the money. She questions him about the friendly price conditions. Sue grins with satisfaction and replies that she has to promise to let him touch her legs 10 times in the future. She wonders what he means by the future and if it implies they'll be seeing each other more often. Sue takes her silence as a yes, thanks her for the trade, and gives her a tip. She says she hasn't agreed yet, but stops and asks what the tip is. He tells her that the tree men in Green Bay Forest are weak but offer a lot of experience, so she can level up quickly there. She asks what he gains from telling her this. He replies not to stress and adds, "What if I said it's related to a hidden mission? Would you help me then?" She agrees to help but notes that Sue can't offer her any assistance in return. She wonders how he knows more than the company does. Sue extends his hand and says, "All sorted then. Remember, you won't suffer any losses." She reflects that while it's unusual for her to do things like this, she feels a growing curiosity about him and can't help but be drawn in, as she shakes his hand with a smile. The scene opens at the town respawn point. Madman, furious, shouts at his team, "How could you let one guy take us all out? Next time, we're ending him." One team member apologizes, "Sorry, we didn't see him coming." Another says with determination, "We'll get him next time we're in the woods. He won't stand a chance." Madman, still fuming, hears a private message ping and pauses, curious about who's messaging him. It's Sue. Madman sees the message. "You're a dog. Bring your people and come hunt the tree people with me. Remember what happens if you don't." Fuming, Madman snaps, "Why the hell would I listen to you?" Sue's message reads, "If you don't come, I'll hunt you until you delete your account. I'll even track your new accounts and post everything online." Madman understands he must comply to survive for now, but vows to get his revenge on Sue once he's stronger. The scene shifts back to the death swamp. Sue realizes that even with her help and Madman's, it's not enough. To complete the hidden quest, they need to defeat all the tree men. He understands that he must recruit more people to succeed. Sue posts a message asking for help to defeat the tree men in Green Bay Forest. Warner replies, warning that anyone who doesn't comply will face consequences. Madman also chimes in, saying he was planning to go there anyway. Sue appreciates the protection Warner is offering and finds it reassuring. Sue reflects that everyone has been battling the tree men for quite some time now and wonders if they're nearing the end of their quest. However, he's uncertain whether this area can truly provide the rare gear he's hoping for. He remembers a guild master from his past life once advising him to stand beneath a tree that brings happy thoughts. Looking up, he sees a tree shaped like a woman and feels he might be in the right place. However, he begins to doubt whether it's all just a trick, as he was expecting something to happen to him. Bird droppings land right on his face, and he immediately erupts in frustration, shouting loudly and furiously. He was expecting something to happen, but not this nonsense. Feeling scammed, he notices a system alert stating that a hidden quest has been triggered. System prompt: players in Novice Village must resist the tree god's revenge in 30 minutes. Success grants a reward, failure costs minus 100,000 XP. He curses at the guide master, vowing that he never wants to see him again in this lifetime. The countdown for the quest has started. World chat fills with complaints as players worrying about the tough mission and possible losses. Sid decides to grab a bite to eat before it begins. He teleports back to the city and finds himself surrounded by people asking for an explanation about the quest. When someone mentions they're too low level, Su remarks that such a big welcome wasn't necessary. A person asks if he can actually handle the quest. He reassures them that he won't fail, and another agrees. Confidently, he says he performs best on a full stomach. The crowd likes the idea, and most decide to follow suit and eat first. The scene shifts back to the real world, where we find ourselves in the city. While eating, Su overhears a conversation about the game. One person describes how fun it was, while another recounts getting killed after touching the pharmacist's assets. He thinks about his ordered item and plans to return to the game to kill the tree god for a reward to upgrade his bone of the death god. Noting the game's growing popularity, he hopes the players make the right choices. A lady approaches and asks if he's Su. She takes a closer look and confirms it's him. Meanwhile, guys in the back admire her looks and comment that she has assets as impressive as the pharmacist's. A guy tells his friend to stop dreaming, noting that she's the campus beauty from the other school. He comments on how lucky the other boy must be and questions if he isn't more handsome than him. She leans in and says she heard he left the exam and upset the teacher. Though he's not interested, he confirms it's true. He wonders why the school beauty is interested in him. She invites him to join her friends for a meal, but he declines, saying he's busy. He isn't interested in dealing with her, as he has more important matters to attend to. He says he's finished eating and will leave first. She calls out, asking if he's also on the Tianqing Walong server, but he doesn't hear. She looks sad and wonders why he's being so cold to her. Her friends arrive and tease her, saying they didn't know she was into that type. One remarks that as the school beauty, she should be with a hunk, not just a gamer. She interrupts, saying this game is not just an ordinary one. She has always been interested in him, and remembers how Su saved her from other guys, kept her safe from harm, and even gave her gifts on special days. She watches him walk away, wondering why he seems to be avoiding her now. He thinks about her and recalls past memories that remind him to stay away. He's no hero and can't risk the safety of people in the safe zone. He realizes that people with different life views can't work together. If you've made it to the end of the video, please give it a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Thank you for watching.